I believe that there wasn't any equality in the investigation due to these facts. 1, my child is black. 2, my child is transgender.
First thing we think of is his smile. He had like the biggest, brightest smile.
Sage Smith vanished without a trace one chilly November evening. A final text message. A walk to meet someone. And then, silence. What happened in that narrow window of time? And why, more than a decade later, do the answers still feel buried in shadows? This is the case of Sage Smith, a bright, spirited 19-year-old living in Charlottesville, Virginia. Sage was more than just another face in a crowd. She was loved deeply by her family and was known for her bold personality, resilience, and confidence in her identity. But on November 20th, 2012, everything changed. She was supposed to meet someone that night, and never came home. That day started like any other. Sage made plans to meet a man named Eric McFadden, someone she had been texting frequently. She left her home around 6:30 p.m., dressed in black leggings, a dark jacket, and carrying a red purse. Surveillance cameras later captured her walking near the Amtrak station downtown. That was the last confirmed sighting. Friends and family quickly grew worried. She wasn't answering her phone. She didn't return calls. She didn't come home that night. And for Sage, that wasn't normal. McFadden admitted to police that he had plans to meet Sage, but his story changed. First saying he saw her, then later saying he didn't. And then, he vanished too. Within days of Sage's disappearance, McFadden left town, ignoring repeated calls from detectives. His girlfriend would later tell investigators he was afraid he'd be accused of something. Despite being a key person of interest, McFadden has never been arrested. His whereabouts remain unknown. Charlottesville police launched a search, but the early days were chaotic. Leads went cold. Tips didn't pan out. And Sage's family says they felt dismissed, that her case wasn't taken seriously from the beginning. Activists have since pointed to a lack of urgency in the investigation, possibly due to Sage's identity as a black, transgender woman. Flyers were posted, vigils were held, but every week that passed felt like a door quietly closing. Her family was desperate, but the system, quiet. But here's where the story twists. Authorities recovered Sage's phone records, and they showed messages that contradicted McFadden's claims. He had been in close contact with her up until the moment she disappeared. So why did he lie? And why would someone leave town just days after a meeting that never happened, unless there was more to hide? Sage's father and grandmother have refused to let her memory fade. Over the years, they've pushed the media, pressured law enforcement, demanded accountability. In 2016, the FBI finally joined the case, but even with federal resources, no arrests have been made, no remains have been found, no resolution has come. It's been more than a decade since Sage Smith was last seen. There's still a family waiting for answers, a community still holding space, and a truth that someone somewhere still knows. What happened that night in Charlottesville, and why is it that in a case filled with clues, no one has been held accountable? If you know anything about the disappearance of Sage Smith, contact the Charlottesville Police Department or your local FBI office. Sage Smith vanished after a single meeting, a single moment. Don't let her story disappear too. Earlier that evening, Sage was chatting with friends and seemed in good spirits. She had styled her hair and touched up her makeup, excited about the evening ahead. The plan was simple: meet up with Eric McFadden. But there was a strange undercurrent to the whole thing. Sage hadn't told many people where she was going. And Eric? He hadn't met Sage in public before. Their connection was mostly private: texts, calls, and quiet meetings. When Sage didn't return that night, her roommates called her family. Her phone went straight to voicemail. No texts, no posts, no trace. Eric's disappearance didn't just raise eyebrows, it raised alarms. He left the state entirely. Investigators tried to track him down, but he kept moving. At one point, his girlfriend told police he was scared and didn't want to be found. One email he sent said, "I don't want to go to jail." but he didn't explain why. Was he afraid because of something he did, or something he knew? To this day, no one knows where Eric McFadden is, and law enforcement has not issued any warrants for his arrest. Sage's case received limited media coverage at first. National headlines were silent, and locally, the attention felt scattered. Her family pleaded with the public for help, holding signs, organizing searches, and appearing on local news. But the silence around Sage's case felt heavy. It wasn't until years later, when activists pushed for more visibility around missing Black and LGBTQ+ individuals, that her story began to get renewed attention. But even then, leads were few and far between, and the person at the center of it all, the last known contact, was still gone. Her father, Dean Smith, has never stopped looking. In interviews, he speaks with a quiet resolve, saying he believes someone out there knows what happened. He's combed through phone records, revisited Sage's last known locations, and pushed the case into the spotlight whenever he could. Community groups have joined the fight too, holding annual vigils, fundraisers, and awareness campaigns. One organization even started a fund in Sage's name to support missing persons cases involving marginalized communities. But no amount of searching has brought Sage home. Investigators built a timeline based on Sage's last known communications. At 6:36 p.m., she texted a friend to say she was heading out. By 7 p.m., her phone pinged near the downtown mall area, close to where McFadden was staying. That ping was the last digital trace of her. Surveillance footage from that night showed Sage walking with confidence. She didn't look fearful. She didn't seem lost. And yet, somewhere in that small stretch of time, something happened that no one has been able to explain. Police later found that McFadden had made several calls around the time Sage disappeared. Some of those calls were to his girlfriend. Some were to unknown numbers. But none of them helped solve the case. Dean Smith once said, "I just want to bring my baby home." His words are haunting, not just because of what they mean, but because of how many other parents have said the same thing. Sage was more than a headline, more than a cold case. She was someone's child, someone's friend, someone who mattered. Her family has lived with the ache of not knowing, with birthdays missed, with holidays filled with silence. And yet, they keep fighting. When someone goes missing, the first 48 hours are everything. But what happens when those hours pass and nothing happens? Sage's case isn't just about what we know. It's about what's been overlooked, the missteps, the delays, the missed opportunities. More than 10 years have gone by, but for Sage's family, it's still November 20th, 2012. Time stopped that day. And until the truth comes out, until there is real accountability, it will remain frozen. Don't let this be another story that fades into the background. Share Sage's name, watch her story, speak her truth. Because the moment we forget is the moment justice dies.